Hello everyone and welcome back to another session of Elden Ring PvP and another weapon showcase. Today we're taking a look at the Nagakiba. This is the new washing pole. It is our super long katana, and there's something about this weapon that I particularly hate, but we'll get started with the basics. This weapon can be dropped by Yura, or it can be obtained by completing his quest line. If you do kill him once he reaches the Zamor Ruins, then the weapon won't actually be dropped by him, but it will spawn at his original location back in Limgrave. So it's a little complicated to get. I'm not going to include any images on screen showing the location because there's just a bunch of different places that it will appear. So yeah, it is what it is. Getting started though with the basics, the weapon requires 18 strength and 22 dexterity to wield, and it deals 45 bleed damage per hit. That said, it also weighs 7 units, and on the Keen upgrade path, it has a physical base damage of 242, an E scaling in strength and an A scaling in dexterity. The ash on this weapon by default is unsheath, and you can put unsheath on it as an ash, which is what I would recommend doing. That way you get the extra bit of damage out of the scaling for the weapon. And overall, it's a fun weapon to use. It's a really good weapon, and there are a lot of great things going on with it as far as pros. First off, though, I would say that the biggest pro is, of course, how long this thing is. It's kind of stupid. And the thing that I hate about it is how long it is, because the sheath for it is constantly clipping into the ground and looks kind of dumb. That's my main gripe with this weapon, an aesthetic thing about it. So that goes to show how good of a weapon I suppose it really truly is. Other pros of the weapon, of course, would include that it is a katana, so it has all the standard katana pros: fast attacks, good moveset, your running R2s are thrusts, your regular R2s are also thrusts, and of course that means it does extremely well with the Spear Talisman. The nice thing with those two particular attacks is that they do take advantage of the very long range of this weapon, and that's a good thing to do. Other than that, the weapon itself is great at chasing people down, again, of course, due to the moveset and due to the long range, but it's something that can't be undersold. The weapon is really great at what it does. Now, with the ashes for the weapon, I like Unsheath. It's great. It gives you a lot of variety with your attacks, and the damage on it is also pretty darn good. Piercing Fang is another good one as well for it. Something, again, that would take advantage of the long reach, would work with the Spear Talisman. It's pretty nice to have. And other than that, another ash that, of course, I always do enjoy is Barbaric Roar. Not because it's good with this weapon. It doesn't get a 3-hit combo like it does with the Morningstar, but it's just silly. And it's nice having all of the hyper armor in the world to just go ahead and trade with. Especially when you have such long range with this weapon, being able to just trade hits with someone and take advantage of that range if they're using something like a halberd or if they're crouch poking with a greatsword, it's helpful. It's nice to have, so something to keep in mind. Now, aside from all of the pros, there are a couple cons of the weapon. Not just me joking about the issue with the aesthetic of the sheath of the weapon clipping into the ground, but the weapon itself doesn't deal too much in the way of poise damage. Katanas aren't really terribly great with that. Now that said, they're not bad. It's nothing in comparison to fist weapons, for example. But even still, it could be a little better. There are, of course, ways that you could improve that. You can always use the tier that goes in your flask that gives you more poise damage, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's just a minor nuisance sort of thing. Other than that, though, there's really not too much else going on with the weapon. It's a long katana. We've had this before, we've seen this before. The big benefit to this one is that it's got the standard katana swing speed as opposed to the slower one like the washing pole in Dark Souls 3 did. So with that, you can just have all of the benefits of a katana with all of the reach of one of the shorter spears, we'll call it. So overall, fun weapon, would recommend. It's not Rivers of Blood, so that's, I guess, a downside. It doesn't have the best ash in the world, but it's fun to use. It's satisfying, it's got a good moveset. What more do you want? Anyway, there are a couple of fights left in this video. I don't really have too much else to say about them. I will say that you'll see me change ashes throughout the video quite a bit. Let me know what ashes you guys like to use on this weapon if you've used it. Do you like the hyper armor that Barbaric Roar has, or do you prefer the lunge forward of Piercing Fang? Or do you like Unsheath? Do you like going with that purely for the fact that it gives you two different attacks, both of which have a good amount of reach and do a good amount of damage? What do you guys like? That all said, I've got nothing really more to say, so thank you all for stopping by. If you've enjoyed the video, then please do all the YouTube things for me. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. I've noticed that a number of the returning viewers, which there are a considerable amount of, are actually not subscribed. So if you are a returning viewer, please do the thing. Subscribe if you've enjoyed the videos enough to come back. If you decide to change your mind on that down the line, then change your mind on it down the line. But in the meantime, help me hit 50,000. I'd appreciate it. And yeah, so that's all I've got. Like I said, thank you all for stopping by. There's one fight left after this one. Stick around to the end. You might enjoy it. Anyway, I'll see you all next time.